All right, welcome back, Action Figures, to another awesome episode of Action Motorcycles. We are here again with the Searles brothers and S2D Racing, who are in Saudi. Somehow they've carved out a few minutes out of their extremely busy schedules to talk with us. You guys are racing tomorrow, isn't that right?
Yeah, the race starts tomorrow. So we've had the last couple of days prepping and testing the bikes to make sure it's all good and testing all the gear and getting used to the bivouac life. You might hear some engines go past us now. We are literally in the middle of the bivouac as we're speaking to you now. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. So I might be getting ahead of myself here, but did I read somewhere that you guys haven't been on the bikes for maybe nearly a year because you've been, rebuilding or whatever?
Yeah. So the last time we were on the bikes was February this year for the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge. Yeah, we had to fly them over and fly them back. So there was a slight delay in getting them home. So I think it was about 4 weeks. Yeah, just under 4 weeks. Then it was basically into stripping the bikes down, sending the parts away, sending them away to be rebuilt. Yeah, we have been riding our smaller enduro bikes, but no rallies since February. So it's nice to get back out yesterday and do a bit of testing. So that was good.
Yeah, I saw some wheelies being popped on Instagram.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Can't help myself. We won't talk about the one that he did on the road. No.
Yeah, we won't do that.
Just wish someone was filming it.
Well, so it's the night before the start. You mentioned the sounds of the bivouac. Talk to me about what's going on the ground right now. Is everybody kind of ready by this point, or is it still prep? Just kind of give us some eyes and ears about what's going on, since we can't be there with you.
Yeah, so definitely still lots of prep going on. We're still prepping ourselves. We've literally just gone through what tools and the little tricks and little parts that we're going to take on the bike. So we've stripped that right back compared to what we had last year. We've still got the lorry to sort out our gears. It's like an admin explosion in there. So we've got all that to sort out so we can make our beds. All that stuff's on our beds currently. Generally, it's everyone that's still prepping. They're still doing scrutineering right now. Yes. The guys are still going through scrutineering with the trucks and the cars. But I think the thing that blew us away here the most is the size of this operation is colossal. The bivouac, I think we tried to scale it on the maps. We think it's around about 1.7 kilometers long. It's huge. The catering tent is like a football stadium. The operation here and the amount of people that are here to run this is unbelievable. And the teams have got, I think Land Rover said they've got 300 staff here. Ford have got 120 staff here. It's crazy. It's so much bigger than anything we've ever done. It's unbelievable. In the briefing last night, they go through, thank a few people and say a few numbers. I think the race director said there's 30,000 people altogether throughout the whole.
30,000 people.
30,000 people. Whether that's security, people building the fences, the marquees, the catering staff. It is. I mean, I don't know how many catering staff they've got here now. Probably 100 staff just working in the kitchen. It's unbelievable.
And so is there? So I guess is it scheduled meal times? This isn't really about the race, but now you got me curious. Is it scheduled meal times, or do you just pop in and get a snack whenever you need?
Yeah, and it's not just a snack. It is literally, burger, chips, pizzas, there's pancakes, waffles, you name it, it's there. You just put the tray in front of the catering guys and it just goes on and you've just got this mound of food. Yeah, wow. So I'm definitely weighing a little bit too much at the minute, but I'm sure that's going to drop off next year. The food supply might sort of thin out a little bit as we get, sort of deeper into Saudi. We're quite close to an airport and quite close to the city centre, so we've got a lot of stuff very accessible at the moment. But I think that sort of, we're making the most of the food that's available at the moment.
So was the going back to the briefing? The briefing was for everybody, right? That was for all the different, right? The cars, the trucks, and the bikes.
Yeah, and they have you have to sign on, and if you don't sign on, you get a penalty.
Of course. Yeah, of course. And then you mentioned scrutineering, and I imagine that's officials making sure the vehicles and the equipment is to spec for the race.
Yeah, exactly that. So the bikes have to have certain things attached to them, safety systems, which all linked to GPS, that needs to test it out. They check our airbags, as in our air vests, our helmets to ensure they're the right, what's the word for it? they've got the
Code,
right official
certification.
labels. Yeah, certification. Sorry, first aid kits are loaded. So yeah, it's quite a full on sort of test, isn't it? With all the documentation to make sure everything's in line. Because one little thing could mean that we're not racing Dakar. So it's quite stressful to make sure that you've got everything in check and everything. Yeah, but a lot of it is, so they've got a system online. It's called Rally Register, and we kind of did pretty much half of it in Spain. So before the actual bikes and then the lorries get actually loaded onto the ferry, you kind of do like
don't spend the money to come over if you're already out of spec and you know it.
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. So a little bit more color. I mean, you talked about the size. We talked about the food. That's great. What else is kind of blowing your mind about maybe is there anything hot topics about 2026? Is there something different this year? Or what are all the other races talking about that you've been able to interact with?
So obviously the distances of the route is kind of blowing my mind. I've always known that Dakar's big, and I know that they do a lot of mileage. So one of the days is 980 kilometers in one day. So yeah, as well, they've said, so last year they said it was one of the toughest Dakars that have ever been done. This year is similar navigation, but they actually had a really bad storm out here a few weeks ago. Basically what that's done is washed all the tracks away. So the navigation is going to be super difficult. They've started recceing the route 2 days ago, and the recce crew got lost on day one. Yeah, so it's going to be a challenge. That's just blows your mind the sort of scale of it, things like that.
It's just right in the middle of nowhere. I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing. You guys think that means, it's going to be a slower race, or there's going to be a lot more stopping for everybody or for yourselves? What do you think that's going to lead to as far as the pros and everybody?
Yeah, I think it's going to, sort of make it a level playing field again for the guys that are good at navigating, but not as, not that sort of willing to go that extra little bit to go faster to gain that way. So it might be that the better navigators actually do better this year rather than guys that hold it pinned. Yeah. The ones with the big kahunas. But yeah, for sure. It's sort of made us think a little bit more about the navigating. There's a lot of rumors going around that it's going to be really rocky. The prologue, they've stated that there's a trial section. So as in trials. So it's really super technical just for the prologue. They've also said that the prologue is very hard to navigate. So they've actually put a lot of waypoints in, so we can use an arrow to help us find our way. But what they've said is don't rely on that arrow. There's a lot of dangers because of the storms they've had. There's a danger 1, 2, and 3. So a danger 1 is you kind of roll off the throttle, just make sure everything's good. A danger 2 is you're on the brakes. And a danger 3, if you don't stop for that, it's a helicopter ride home. So danger 3 is sort of massive drops, and hold on yourself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, at least they've kind of made some awareness there. So that's good. So you mentioned the long segment, and then you just mentioned the prologue. Any other sections that are kind of living rent free in your head?
Yeah. So the marathon stages are obviously we have done a marathon stage at Abu Dhabi. But this is like they're stressing that you are by yourself in the desert. You're going to be away from your support trucks. You're going to have nothing there, no amenity. It's just going to be you and your bike and a couple of other guys sat around the campfire. Obviously, it's a little bit unknown for us, and they've sort of said expect to be cold. And if you don't like being cold, then Dakar isn't for you. Which is weird because we're kind of sat in probably 25 degrees at the minute, and we're in shorts and t-shirts sweating. But to think that we're going to be riding through sort of 2-3 degrees and sleeping through the night, it is, a bit bizarre. But yeah, that's kind of another standout, I would say. We've got 2 of those over the 14 days racing, or 13 days.
So at this point, what do you guys think you're going to be leaning on most? Your experience, the bikes themselves, or kind of your gut, or what's your gut for how you're going to handle this going forward?
My gut is the bikes are there. Like we do have a lot of experience. I think we sort of don't give ourselves enough value, or sort of a pat on the back that we have done races. But going into it, we've not felt any sort of real pressure. I think our end goal is to finish. So fitness wise, probably as fit as we've ever been in our lives. But yeah, with myself, I feel comfortable that we're exactly where we need to be for 2 guys from the UK that are giving this, worldwide race a go. So I think we're in as best place as we can be. We've got Dan obviously supporting us with the truck, Fred on the mechanics, Dave doing all the admin stuff. So I think we feel confident that we're going to be able to get this done. So, and I would say the plan of attack is just go and get it done, not ride fast, keep it under control. And I think doing the test yesterday was a great sort of grounding for like, you cannot mess about. If you overstep the line, if you're unlucky, that is going to be it. You hit that wrong stone and it flips you over. You're then bouncing through a minefield of melon-sized rocks that are just going to smash you and the bike to bits. At the start of the rally, we're just going to take our time, just get the navigation done, ride it, get it done, and just hopefully, as we do each day, we start picking a little bit of pace up and a bit more confidence, and sort of relax into it and enjoy it. Yeah, but when we did the private test yesterday, we kind of got on the start of it. We rode together, and it was like, right, we'll just go through the motion, just get it all, wait for it to come back to us rather than trying to push it. We did one lap, adjusted a few things, went and did another lap, and we both said pretty happy at that pace. We weren't over that limit, but we were still moving. We caught a couple of guys in the private tests. I think we were going through with enough momentum to finish and not to really wreck the bike ourselves. So I think if we try and keep it that, I would say we're about 60% of our speed. I think a lot of people are saying, try and go about 70%, but I think if we just drop off that extra 10%, we're going to be more reliable. The bike's going to be more reliable. I know our days might be slightly longer than others, and it would be nice to get back, sort of at dusk or it's getting back at one piece.
That's probably more important.
Yeah.
That's probably more important than the sunset. I know that's what you guys had talked about in our previous video. About what that kind of comfort level percentage of full pace that you guys we're gonna run. Well, next question. You guys are doing it. It's all leading up to this. I mean, obviously, there's a question about how you feel after you finish. How do you feel right now? I mean, is it just completely unbelievable, or are you ready?
It almost doesn't feel like we're here to race. It's so bizarre because we're so chilled out. Normally, when we go racing, there's a bit of anxiety. We're going to be fast enough. Obviously, whenever we race in the UK, we go as fast as we can, and we want to win the races. But here, I don't know. It just doesn't feel real. It feels like you're going to wake up back in the UK and. Yeah, it just feels like a dream. Literally, for me, it's like that's how I feel. I a couple of times, pretty much every day, I kind of have to pinch myself and sort of remind myself that we are living our actual dream, and each day brings something across. It's like I can see the KTM factory flags. They're literally a stone throw away.
That's pretty awesome, guys.
And Sam, we were in where was obviously doing earlier. I went to buy the kids some. A t-shirt or some Dakar memorabilia, and Sam Sunderland, I don't know if you know him, he's used to be a KTM factory rider. He's won it a few times, and he's just walked past me and just put his thumbs up and asked if I was all right, and then
that's pretty awesome.
Round the corner, Chucky Sandel, Daniel Sanders from Australia, he's another Dakar rider, just goes past you, and it's just like
that's awesome. That's amazing. So cool. That's I mean, I can't tell you how jealous I am and how grateful I am for the opportunity to kind of come along with you guys here. I mean, that's I want to just talk about just real quick, what the plan is for tomorrow. When are you supposed to be at the start? Do the bikes start at the same time as the trucks? How does that? Is it different areas? How does that all work?
So we're first bike out is at 8:30. And then they'll go from in reverse order. So the higher number goes first up to the championship boys. We are 109 and 110, so we'll be out, I'd imagine, by 9 a.m. we'll be gone from here. It's around about, with the stage included, it's about 90 kilometres. So it should be a fairly chill day. We'll be done and out the way before the cars and trucks go through for sure. So it'll be a little bit of pressure on because prologue is basically where they see us in race. So ideally, we want to come in at the same time. But we sort of tried a little bit of a theory in Abu Dhabi, but then I messed up my navigation. So I ended up right at the back, but Craig actually rode really well. So he was sort of mid-pack. So he had to wait for me and I caught him up. And then we kind of did that all the way through the racing. It'd be good to both finish prologue at the same time. So we start
That'd be nice. Yeah.
day one of the main race and together. For us, obviously, we're going to be like, out of 500 competitors, we're going to be like the 8th and 9th rider to go through the prologue, which they've said is really difficult to navigate. Yeah. So there's going to be no drag.
Gosh. That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are going to be busy racing tomorrow. You know, I don't expect that we're going to be able to chat at least for a few days. I know you mentioned there is one downtime day. Maybe we can catch back up and chat then. So what I'll do is you know, just tell me, you can send me a message either today or whenever. You tell me when you're available and I will make sure that I'm available, and we'll try the same thing.
Yeah, for sure. If we can do rest day sort of similar time for us here.
Okay. Yeah.
Then we can have a catch up and have a chat.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, guys, absolutely best of luck to you. I love all the action motorcycle stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
So grateful that you put all that on there.
We've got it on.
Got on the shirts. Fantastic.
We got the merch. We got it on the truck. We've got it on bikes. We've got it on our race jerseys.
Yeah, pretty amazing. And by the way, the jerseys look awesome. All your kit looks fantastic.
Yeah, really pleased with it. So we kind of designed it with the gear company. We wanted kind of like the late 80s, early 90s sort of disco feel. So it's got like a little bit jazzed up arms and a little bit purple, a little bit yellow, which kind of goes with our theme. So yeah,
I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, really good.
Looks perfect. Well, absolute best of luck to you guys. I'm going to be following as best as I can every day. And obviously, you know, we'll stay in touch. You know, if you have a chance and you want to say hi, well, you know, I'll be rooting for you and following along with the chat and everything. But I cannot wait to see you guys race. Thank you so much for your time, and absolute best of luck.
Thank you, man. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys. All right, we'll talk soon.
Yeah. Catch you later. Bye-bye.